Welcome back to another NCAT movie review. Today we have The Killer. It's directed by David Fincher. He's done movies such as like Gone Girl, Seven, Fight Club, I think The Zodiac as well. So if you guys are into these types of films, this movie is definitely up your alley. Let's jump into it.
The plot of this film follows Michael Fassbender as an assassin who essentially misses the shot on his assassination. That's how the film opens. And because he missed the shot, he's now excommunicated, and they go after his family or his girlfriend, and him essentially going on a revenge trip to take out all the players in the game that are trying to take him out, and then also him losing his touch a little bit as an assassin, losing his nerve. We also see throughout the film that he's in a way going not crazy, but he's got doubts in his mind about his physicality and also his mental side. Essentially missing the shot, it seems to be like that wasn't something that he would naturally do, is miss the shot.
You gotta shoot your shot. You gotta shoot your shot.
You gotta shoot, and one thing that I learned in life is that you gotta shoot your shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's exactly right. Jack Harlow said that, I think.
No, that was
Benjamin Franklin probably.
No, that was Michael Scott.
This film I thought was awesome cinematography wise. David Fincher, I think, is a very masterclass at getting like these angles that vibe with neo noir, and I think that he kind of hit this with The Killer as well. The Killer is more of a slower movie than what I'm used to with his stuff, but it does kind of hit on the what the assassin's life kind of really would be like. I think it's more like a realism. That's how I interpreted this movie, at least. I kind of felt not these super fast action-paced movies where people are like always captivated. There's some story behind it, but the action scenes as well, they do captivate you. There is one, but in particular, that is the most brutal kill I've ever seen, apart from probably Equalizer. Like that was almost like the same type of vibe I got from Michael Fassbender and Denzel Washington's kill. They had the same type of energy towards that.
Yeah, it was a very typical David Fincher film. Same sort of style in film and scenes, and also sort of that like dark, very beige coloured filming where there's not much lighting going on. It's real sort of dark, setting that dystopian scene, setting that neo-noir sort of scene. The fight scenes in this were really gory and almost like what a true assassination would be. Like it wasn't clean, it wasn't perfect, it was rough, gory, full of blood, full of, I guess, there's a particular scene where in a fight, Fassbender pushes a guy onto a table leg and literally gets sodomized by it. So that's the kind of film this is, and he's bleeding out of it. It's pretty gnarly. Like this is one of the gnarliest depictions of assassinations and deaths I've seen, and almost realistic as well.
Yeah, seeing how each kind of assassin, how meticulous they are in planning and methodical they are in planning, I think that was a big part of this film because of all the monologue that you see pretty much the entire film. He very rarely speaks. So having him think about certain things that he has to go with, such as his ruling, he's got certain rules that he can't deviate from. Like it's things like anticipate, don't improvise. So he always knows what's going to come and has to wait for a while as well. For instance, there's this couple of scenes where he's just flying. He takes about 18 flights, I think, throughout this movie, and he's just chilling in hotel rooms just to make sure that everything's set up before he can take out the target. But throughout this, you see him lose that, and his morals kind of slip. So it's like definitely a fight and like a juxtapose between his original assassination and compared to what's going on now, trying to get back at the employers. Yeah, he goes back and finds that certain people weren't as involved as others, and so then he kind of lets them live, and yeah, he kind of fights those morals. So it was a real good movie about also moral grounding, not just about assassinations the entire time.
But he almost finds his own moral ground. Like he specifically says in this movie, a lot of the times don't have empathy. Yet in this, we see him having empathy because he's clearly one of the main themes of the film is him fighting himself, in that he's pretty much over the assassin lifestyle, and that he doesn't say this verbally, but you kind of get the vibe that he wants to get away from this lifestyle. And so you see that in a way where he starts constant line where he says no empathy, don't show empathy, and yet he does in a few scenes show empathy, which is so outside of his character obviously because he says it is, showing the empathy side of things. So this, a big theme of the film is him essentially fighting himself mentally, where he seems tired mentally, so he missed the shot. He's a bit, in his fight scenes, he pretty much gets his ass beat in every single fight scene. And then also the empathy wise, where he wants to, the cold-heartedness of him is gone, even though I would compare him to very much like the No Country for Old Men, Javier Bardem's character, who's just a psychopath and so meticulous and cold in the way that he kills people and doesn't care about killing people. He just looks them dead in the eye and bang, shoots them with whatever he had in that. I think it was like a bloody horse. No, it was like a pet tranquilizer or whatever it was.
Yeah, it has no remorse at all.
No remorse at all. And that's sort of like this movie is the Equalizer meets No Country for Old Men in a way.
Yeah, pretty much had a baby together, and then this movie was born. Because it's a different take, I thought, compared to what other movies I've seen in terms of assassination wise. Like the movie to me was very monotonous in the ways that he does everything all the time. But then there was also some like really intricate scenes where he'll hire a van. The van is now a different plate on it. He'll have packs of guns and stuff on garages all in different states and different countries kind of thing that then he can access, so everything happens. And it's like I find that very interesting, even though that's just like a boring kind of point, I guess, throughout the entire film, because it doesn't really mean anything. But I find it interesting of how prepared he is. They say multiple times he's got enough money to retire for 7 lifetimes, yet he still chases the hunt. And there is a interesting story with one of the characters in there that he has dinner, kind of confronts her at dinner, that she tells this weird joke, but the joke is like an innuendo to what he's doing, his life. And I think that's why he finds it quite funny, even though it's a shit joke. But I think that this movie has like layers on it. You just got to sort of dig through it. And it is based on a book too. So I'm sure a lot of it was cut out, and a lot of intricate scenes that, you know, how books sort of go into these meticulous details. So yeah, I think the movie was, I think I'm rating it like maybe a 6 for me. It was quite good, maybe 60%. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, it can be a bit slow at times, this movie, but like Josh said, it's because it touches in on the details of what being an assassin would really be like, but it also is able to draw you back in and keep you engaged the whole time because those action scenes are so brutal and so cool and so, I guess, gory. So that side of it, you know, you could be, some people might find it a little bit boring in stages, but it'll draw you back in. So that's fine. It's not a all guns blazing 100% of the time. Probably 50-50. And those 50% that it's off is intricate little details that widen the perspective of the character's personality, Michael Fassbender's personality, and where his mindset is at. And then the other scenes, 50% of the time, where it's gory, crazy, is really cool and draws you in. And you don't really see that much in movies, aside from like Equalizer and a little bit of John Wick, I guess.
See, even they're more action-packed than what this is. Like they're probably not as meticulous and not as well thought out. It's just, I mean, even though John Wick's an absolute assassin himself, but he has
plot armor though.
He does have plot armor, right? But this one doesn't have that, right? Yeah,
it's very much like the accountant. It's very much like the accountant with Ben Affleck. Very much like what a real assassin would, like a real psychopathic, crazy assassin would be. Like, I mean, come on, to be an assassin, you've either got to be real egotistical, sociopath, narcissistic, or you've got to be just a genuine psychopath. So that's where this touches on. Whereas like John Wick's more just like a superhero. Yeah, he's a superhero.
That's
he's
exactly
Batman.
Right.
He's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You see them as superheroes and not actual assassins. You're seeing this guy for what it really is. Yeah. That's the different take I think that David kind of was directing this movie towards, and that's what I thought I found very interesting about it. Even though it was slow, and it did take me back that it was quite slow, but yeah, it was definitely a better direction, I thought, for a movie compared to these other ones that we all see all the time. Yeah,
David Fincher really did well with the direction here. The cinematography was great. The soundtrack was also really good. It sort of wasn't loud and boisterous. It was more like it had some beat changes that would be up-tempo when it was becoming into an assassination scene that kind of really got you riled up, and you knew it was coming. So that's kind of what, I guess, when we say it was slow, yet it drew you back in. That's what sort of helped that with the beat of the assassination scenes. Like, it wasn't a song; it was like an up tempo boom 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 beat, which sort of set the tone for the scene that was coming, which was really good. So, my rating for this, like, it's just a good movie to chuck on. You know, it's not going to win any awards or break any records, but I'd probably give it like a 60%, probably a 70, because Fassbender's acting was really good, and Fincher's direction was really great, and the cinematography was on point too. So, and the action scenes were unreal, really good choreography, really good.
Anyway, guys, this has been another Uncut movie review. Don't forget to drop the sub, drop a like. It helps. It's free, by the way. It helps us a hell of a lot. It puts the algorithm in our favor, and it pushes it out there a lot more. So don't forget.
No, you actually have to pay a subscription. It's as soon as you click subscribe, you pay us $100.
Guys, we're doing it.
We deserve it.
This is our first ad. Welcome to Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys,
can you actually drop that though?
I don't think so. I might cut it out. No. Anyway, guys, this has been another Uncut movie review. Thank you for watching. Peace. We out.
Peace.
And cut.